Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of Colourpop makeup. I picked out all of my favorite Colourpop products. You guys seem to really like when I did like the full face of e.l.f. makeup. So yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face using all Colourpop products. So before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, I am doing a huge giveaway right now. I'll have it linked in my description box below if you guys want to enter that. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on that giveaway. And then also make sure you guys have your notifications turned on. All you have to do is click the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you'll receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face, and I'm going to be using like all of my favorite products, as I said. So just prepare yourself that I'm going to be talking about how much I love all of these because I literally picked out my favorites. So for primer, I'm going to be using the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. This primer is literally perfect for dry, normal skin, and it really hydrates your skin because it has hyaluronic acid in it. I love the way this makes my skin feel. It's not like a silicone type primer. It really just feels kind of like a moisturizer almost. All right, so for foundation, I'm gonna be using their new foundation. This is their Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I have an entire review on this foundation. Honestly, I'm obsessed. It's seriously so good. It's like my favorite foundation right now. And I'm gonna be using their sponge as well. This foundation just honestly looks so beautiful on the skin. I also love their Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. That's like my everyday, not like foundation because it's like super light coverage, but that's what I wear on an everyday basis. If you guys have not tried this foundation, I highly recommend it. I think this is probably like going to turn into one of my all-time favorite foundations. Like, it's that good. I forgot to mention, but mine is in the shade Light 55N. Alright, so before I apply concealer, I am going to be using some of their cream products today. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I love both of these. These are their blush stick and then their highlight stick. I like to use the cream face products before I do my concealer just because I like to set my concealer like immediately after applying it. So I'm first going to go in with their blush stick, and this one is in the shade Dash Zero. I'm just going to apply this directly to my cheeks. This is just how I like to use this. It's gonna look a little bit crazy at first, but it blends out really nicely. So I'm just gonna take the bottom of my sponge now and just blend this out. These honestly just blend so nicely. I haven't been wearing like any makeup on the lower half of my face because I have to wear a mask to work, but this is what I would use like on an everyday basis before the mask as a blush. So I would just use cream products instead of powder. So now I'm going to take their light sticks, and this one is in the shade Star Bright. And I'm just going to kind of tap this along my cheekbone. And I'm going to do it like one cheek at a time because these do dry pretty quick. I'm going to take the Colourpop like little baby sponge, and I'm going to take the flat side and just use it to blend that highlighter out. So now it is time for concealer. I'm going to be using the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I have the shade Fair 20 in, and then I also have the shade Light 40 in. So I'm going to take the shade Light 40 in first, and I'm just going to kind of put this like on the outer part of my under eye. Now I'm going to take the lighter shade, and I'm going to put this right in my inner corner. And I'm going to take the little baby size sponge just for a size comparison. Here's the full size and then the little small one. And I'm just going to use this one to blend out the concealer. And honestly, this little sponge fits like perfectly in your under eye area. So now I'm going to set everything in place, and I'm going to be using the Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder. I believe this is the only setting powder they make, and this one is in the shade Translucent. So my plan was to use like all Colourpop like sponges and brushes and stuff, but I just realized that I don't have like an under eye brush or like a real powder brush from Colourpop, I don't think. So I'm just going to be using like a regular setting brush that I normally would use, and I'm just going to take that powder and put it underneath the eyes. I'm also going to just kind of lightly set the rest of my face. So now I'm going to go in with some bronzer. I'm going to be using the Colourpop Coconut Beach Bronzer, and to apply it, I'm going to be using the Colourpop F18 brush. This came in like a big set of brushes, which are going to be, ooh, that was way more pigmented than I remember. Oh boy. Okay, that scared me for a sec. These brushes, I believe, come in one set. I'll have everything linked though in my description box below. But yeah, this bronzer is like super pigmented, so you do have to be light-handed. I haven't used this in a while, so I wasn't gonna apply any more blush, but I feel like I need just a little bit more. I feel like the cream blush kind of blended away a little bit, and I'm gonna be using this blush right here. I believe this was from their Mauve collection. This is in the shade Catch My Vibe, and I'm gonna be using their F21 brush. I love this brush for blush. Such a pretty shade. So I'm definitely going to be adding more highlight just because I like a really like blinding highlighter. So I'm going to be using this highlighter, and this is super old. It doesn't even like say Colourpop anymore. It like completely wore off. But this is their Super Shock Cheek in the shade Stole the Show. And I'm going to be applying it with this brush, and this is their E15 brush. It's technically an eye brush, but it's big enough that you can use it on the face. Like, look at that highlight. It's so blinding. Oh my gosh, I haven't used this in forever. Oh my gosh, I really don't think I've used this in like years. Such a pretty shade. So now it is time for eyes, and I realized after going through all of my Colourpop products, I don't have a brow product. Like, I don't even know if they make a brow product, but I personally don't own any, I don't think, Colourpop brow products, so I'm probably just gonna do those off camera later. But I'm gonna take my Pretty Fresh concealer, and I'm just going to put a little bit more of this on my lids. I did kind of bring it onto my lids a little bit, but I feel like I need a little bit more. And I'm gonna be taking their E4 brush, and I'm just gonna use this to kind of blend that out a little bit. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Bare Necessities palette. This is like one of their best-selling palettes, and it's also one of my favorite palettes. That's why I wanted to use this one. This is like the most perfect everyday neutral palette. I do a lot of colorful looks, so I thought it would be fun today to just do something kind of like neutral, I guess. So on their E16 brush, mine's like super stained. That shade, whatever's on here, does not want to come off. I'm going to take the shade right here called Hustler, and I'm just going to put this in my crease, and I'm just gonna kind of blend this all over. I'm also gonna take it on the E21 brush, which is like a little pencil brush, and I'm just gonna blend this all along my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take the shade right here called Hot Gossip on that same brush, and I'm just going to kind of put this a little bit lower in the crease. So now I'm going to take their angled brush, and this is the E6 brush, and I'm going to pick up that same shade, and I'm just going to press this up against the lower lash line and kind of blend it out. So now I'm going to take the E17 brush, which is a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to take the shade Tabloid right here, which is just a kind of like deep matte brown, and I'm just going to kind of pack this on the outer corner and then just slightly blend it into the crease. I'm also going to add that to the lower lash line. So for my lid shade, I want to do like a really bright gold. So I went and grabbed my It's All Good palette, which is also one of my favorite Colourpop palettes. This is such a pretty palette. Like, look at these shades. So I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Cheers to You. And I'm going to be using this E3 brush right here. And I'm not even going to like cut my crease or anything. I'm just going to put this shade straight on the lid. This brush is such a good brush for applying lid shades. So now I'm going to go back in with that highlighter I used on my face, and on this little E20 brush right here, I'm just going to put this in the inner corner and along the brow bone. So when going through all of my makeup products, I realized that I didn't really have that many Colourpop mascaras. I only have 3, and all of them are like colored ones. So I grabbed my dark brown one. This is in the shade Brownie Points, and I don't think I've ever tried a brown mascara before, but we're going to try this out today. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. So here is what the wand looks like. I'm going to go ahead and do the lower lashes first. Honestly, it's such like a dark brown, you can't even really tell that it's even brown, which is actually nice because I feel like it looks pretty natural. My hair is like out of control today. All right, so I actually really like the way that that looks. I feel like my lashes look super natural. So now I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows off camera since I don't have a Colourpop brow product, and then I'll come back to finish off the look with the lips. So for the lips, I'm first gonna start out with their Velvet Blur lipstick in the shade Bloom to Bloom. I am obsessed with Colourpop's bullet lipsticks. Their Velvet Blur and then their Matte Luxe lipsticks are like my all-time favorites. These just go on so easily. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of lip gloss on top. This is the Colourpop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Crazy Little Wing. These smell so good. So I just realized that I didn't apply this white eyeliner, and I love this one. This is the Colourpop Crim Gel Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Exit. The Colourpop eyeliners are so good, so I'm gonna apply a little bit of this in the waterline. Hopefully I don't get it on my lashes. I love applying like a white liner like that in the waterline. I feel like it just makes you look like super awake. So now to set everything in place, I'm gonna be using my favorite setting spray, literally, like out of all my setting sprays, I feel like this one is definitely my favorite. And this is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. And as you guys can see, I'm almost out. I've got to order a backup because I use this every single day. It just sprays out like so nicely. All right, you guys, so this is the completed look using all Colourpop products. Literally, Colourpop is probably one of my favorite brands. It really is probably just like my favorite brand in general. I love their products and they're super affordable. There's like not really any Colourpop products that I've tried that I like didn't like. So yeah, I would highly recommend their products. They're seriously amazing. So I'm gonna have everything that I used in today's video linked in my description box below if there's anything you guys want to pick up. If you guys are also obsessed with Colourpop, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Colourpop products are. And yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, make sure you guys go enter that giveaway that I mentioned at the beginning of today's video. You definitely don't want to miss out on it. And also, before you guys go, make sure you click the bell next to the subscribe button so you receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.